Don Global presents the DG Recruit podcast on everything headhunting and recruitment. Achieve the life and career you envision. What's up, game changers? It's your host, Don, founder of Don Global, the headhunting and career coaching company helping you achieve the life and career you envision. In today's DG Recruit episode, I'll cover what headhunters could potentially earn in a headhunting career. Every sales job is different. There's certain dynamics and certain industry norms that create earning capabilities based on the unique market and career attributes to that specific role. In headhunting, like many other sales jobs, you definitely have a split between your firm that employs you, as well as yourself, what you're able to bring the firm in terms of revenue. Whatever you bring to the table, you definitely have to share it with your employer. The reason being that your employer is training you, is providing you a certain flat rate to live off of, which is otherwise known as a base, and certainly providing you benefits such as healthcare, vacation time, any other type of support, whether it's 401k matching. All of these reasons are reasons why you as a salesperson usually have to split your sales capability of what you earn in terms of revenue with whichever firm is hiring you at any given time. Similar to many other sales jobs such as real estate, financial wealth sales, or certainly any type of product sales, you have to split your revenue with your firm. In headhunting, the good thing here is that you will start off with a base. You will have a base salary of usually in any metropolitan city anywhere from $35,000 up to $40,000. And in certain firms, you might even start off with a higher base salary. Obviously, the commission is a big part of what you can hope to earn. And so the commission schedules vary at every firm. So maybe some firms with a higher base actually will pay you less because of commission, and the commission split, it might be lower. Some firms might do a quarterly bonus, such as Michael Page from what I've seen. Some firms do monthly commission where you'll get paid on starters, as many of the British firms are set up. Some are paid perhaps on sort of a draw where you get a certain amount of kickback based on your achievements. Similar to real estate, where you have different tiers of earnings, such as when your sales reach a certain amount, you actually get a higher cut. That is very much the case in headhunting as well. The more you bring in, the higher the cut, and that's pretty normal across any type of sales job. So let's continue to talk more about headhunting specifically. In headhunting, as I said, you usually have a base anywhere from $35,000 to $40,000 when you first start. As you get more experience, that base goes up, especially as you get promoted within your existing firm. Your company will start giving you more money on the base. When I left my company, I was already making double what I earned as a starter. And they increased the base to obviously make you feel good and give you some promotions and reward you for your loyalty. And at the same time, you are benefiting off of increased income from your commissions. Why does your commissions increase? Well, this is really cool. In sales, it happens to everybody. As you start becoming more famous within your sales territory, people will start to know you. So in year one, you might be setting the stage and the foundation, but in year two and year three and all the years after that, you're really reaping what you sowed. So if you had made a good amount of impact on the people around you and in your network, you will begin to see the payoff from all of your investment, because people will remember you when they need something. So what happens is you usually experience the phenomenon of a tipping point, where after a certain point, the job becomes really easy and everything just kind of falls into place because your skills have increased as well as your network. So not only do more people know you and come to you on a more passive basis, you also have increased your skill set. So you are actually better at your job as you get more experienced. So sales, you can see very quickly ramp up and sort of exponential growth in terms of salary income potential. And that's really what's powerful about sales, is that process happens relatively quickly, especially in headhunting. Reason being, headhunting cuts, headhunting margins. The size of a headhunting deal is significant compared to the amount of work it takes for you to solidify that deal. In headhunting, you will make a commission off of the price your talent costs. So let me give you an example. For permanent recruiters, people that make money off of one-time placement fees, as in I hire a full-time W-2 employee for a client of mine, you will get a certain fixed percentage of whatever the full year's compensation is. Most companies will agree to a contract value that focuses on the base salary as what to base the percentage fee on. This is to make things simple, because as things get more complicated with compensation, such as potential stock volume, stock price, as a potential first year compensation might also be sign-ons. A lot of firms don't want to pay a fee on those other aspects because that price could continue to increase and be significantly high. And for those reasons, a lot of firms don't want to agree to a first year compensation on the contract. They prefer to keep it on the base. The base is simple. It's just a flat rate amount that you're going to get that whole year, and it's a nice number to base a percentage off of, so you don't have to worry about what comes out on the back end. And realistically, from a commercial standpoint, a recruitment company, a headhunter, is not going to come up to a client and say, oh, by the way, I need to charge you another certain percentage on last year's bonus, right? Because that's also part of a first year compensation. So a lot of times you'll see companies agreeing simply to the flat rate fee on a fixed salary. What is this fee? Well, industry average is 25% for any decent market. What are the decent markets? Decent markets are markets where there's candidates that are far fewer than the jobs available. And their salaries on the low end of someone 2 to 3 years out of college is already at $90,000. So now you're talking big fees, because even the most junior people you're working for are at the $90K range. And because the labor shortage is so dire, companies are willing to pay good rates of 25% or above. Some firms and some market categories are just less. They take less. They operate on less. There's either less people working there or whatever reason. They charge 15% or 20%. Those rates are unadvisable because those are pretty low. I always try to get 25% or above for my clients, unless there are major, huge clients who, fine, I'll give you 20% or whatever. But basically, this amount is dictated by the market. So if I have a candidate that everyone is all willing to pay me 25% for, why would I give them away for 20%? That wouldn't make any sense. So I think a lot of times you will see the top headhunters really being able to control their market realities, because they will be so good and quote unquote corner the market that companies are almost like, what is the word? Handcuffed to pay a certain amount of money. Because if you don't pay me what I want as a headhunter, I will tell everybody in this market how unstable you are and how they should not trust you. You almost have to pay me for like initiation fee to get candidates. And that is when you know you have become the best headhunter at your job, that you control the candidate market. Because as every sales jobs, if you control the supply, you control demand. So the supply is the supply of candidates available, and the demand is clients who are interested in your candidate. If you own the supply, which is all the candidates in the market that can do that job, then you own the clients by default. Clients, although they're the ones that pay us, unfortunately, they're at our mercy, because without our candidates, they will have nothing to pay us on. So it's kind of this parasitic relationship between client and recruiter. The real beneficiary is truly the candidate, especially in markets where, again, the candidates are few and far between. So again, for permanent recruiters, we make a fixed percentage, which is usually 25%, off of their first year base salary. And that is pretty awesome, because most people at their mid-level career already make $150,000. So if you look at those numbers, 25% times 150, that's a pretty nice fee. If you compare it with some of the other sales organizations and sales categories, it's way better. I mean, how many cars would you have to sell to earn that type of money?
A lot. How many houses would you have to sell to earn that type of fee? Probably a pretty expensive house at a top of the line market, or 2 houses at a lower level market. So as you can see, recruitment can be extremely lucrative due to the high percentage fee as well as a high rate of talent these days. Let's talk about contract recruitment specialists. So there are a lot of firms that need people on a contractual project based. So a lot of firms, instead of hiring someone full-time, might just need someone for 3 to 6 to 12 months, perhaps extendable to 2 years, because legally that's how many months or years you can extend under one contractor. So the recruitment firm in this scenario serves as the holding company of these contractors. And instead, we almost subcontract out our projects with our clients. We subcontract it out to actual contractors. So we have to go again as the talent seeker. We have to go out and seek talent to fill these part-time roles. And these people might own their own LLCs. They might be working, strictly on a pay them and they file their own taxes kind of schedule. Some of them may even have a corp where they actually have mini-me's and minions doing some of the subcontracting of whatever projects they're given. Overall, contract recruitment specialists can earn quite a pretty penny too, because they'll earn the base salary and get all the other perks such as vacation and 401k match and all those great things that a firm would provide to you, but they also will give you an opportunity to make what's called residual income off of each of your candidates. So from a contract recruitment standpoint, the contract can be extended. So instead of making one flat fee, that fee can actually continue to grow. And as you have more contractors, you'll actually have a higher income earning potential, because now you're getting into the second, third, fourth tier of the commission schedule. Because you're representing a bunch of people who end up getting jobs, they overlap, and that margin, what you're charging the company versus what you're paying out to the candidate, that's your margin. So that margin you are now going to split with your company, similar to the fee structure for permanent recruiters. You obviously have to split that fee with your company as well. On the contract recruitment side, again, you get to experience residual income when contracts get extended. So you could go on vacation and not work for 6 months, but since you have, let's say, 20 contractors working under you on various projects where they're continually being promoted and kept within the contracting pool, you actually will continue to make money even while you're traveling and running around. Obviously, your firm won't be happy with that, because why should they continue to pay you a high volume when they can actually be paying and training new staff? So contract recruitment also has some career pitfalls and drawbacks, but overall, as an individual earner, that's a pretty sweet deal too. Overall, if you do the job right, your first year you should be able to make about $60,000 as the sort of bare minimum, because that's like a decent performance. If you're doing well, your first year you can probably expect $80,000 and above. Some really, really top performers can make we've seen this, $150,000, but usually those are quite unique scenarios where there are a number of contributing factors. If you can make it into your second year in business, that's when you'll see your salary truly grow up. You will see perhaps a 6-figure income in year 2. That's almost guaranteed if you have been already functioning at the 60 to 80K level your year 1. Year 3, it's anyone's game. Year 2 is really anyone's game too. We have seen people who have billed $1 million in their second year in business. Everybody just has a different way of absorbing the information and reacting to it. So recruitment is not very predictable. You really don't know what's going to happen with any individual hire. But if you have the confidence to reach what you want to reach, it's definitely possible. 6 figures is easy to do. I did 130 plus in my second year in business. That's when I was about 24 years old. By 25 years of age, I was making 215 that year. So, as your business continues to grow, year 2, year 3 should actually be easier. You won't have to work as hard as year 1. Year 1 is really where you do the majority of your heavy lifting, because you need to learn the business and you also have to get used to the jargon, and you really catch your flow year 2 and year 3.
I hope DG Recruit is helping you understand the realities, challenges, and opportunities when it comes to headhunting and recruitment. Whether you're already a top biller or an aspiring headhunter, I'd love to get to know you. Sign up at donnaglobal.com to stay in touch on all aspects of career coaching and headhunting. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in to DG Recruit. This has been a production of Donna Global.